harder than I thought it was going to be, but also sort of in a weird way, kind of just nice. It was I thought it was a really wonderful way to say goodbye.
Care to explain yourself?
Young Sheldon, the brilliant mind behind the mask. When we found young Sheldon, we found the heart of the story. This phrase from Jim Parsons, whispered during an interview backstage at CBS, reveals the first of many secrets surrounding the creation of young Sheldon. What few people know is that this series was born not in a writer's room, but from a home video. Jim Parsons sent producer Chuck Lorre footage of his 10-year-old nephew in Texas, a child prodigy with mannerisms reminiscent of Sheldon Cooper. When watching that video, I had the immediate feeling that there was a complete story waiting to be told, Lorre revealed in a press conference that was never fully disclosed. This intimate moment sparked one of the most successful prequels in American television. And the truth is more shocking than any fan could imagine. Are you enjoying this story, young Sheldon? Then help the channel with your subscription. Look, 94.8% of the people who watch these videos are still not subscribed to the channel. If you are part of that group, take the chance and subscribe now. It's free, and that way you'll keep receiving amazing stories from TV shows we still miss. Oh, and don't forget, at the end of the video, you'll find more stories like this one. The development of young Sheldon officially began in November 2016, but confidential conversations had been happening months earlier. Internal production documents show that the initial idea was to create a completely independent series about a child prodigy in Texas in the 1980s. It was only after a secret meeting between CBS executives, Chuck Lorre, and Jim Parsons that the decision to connect the two stories was made. We realized we had the chance to explore something rarely done on television, showing how a complex character was shaped from childhood, explained Stephen Molaro, who left his position as showrunner of The Big Bang Theory to dedicate himself to the new project. The search for young Sheldon led the production team to evaluate hundreds of children until an audition video reached their hands. Ian Armitage, a 9-year-old boy who had gained notoriety for his theater reviews on YouTube, sent his audition during Christmas vacation at his grandmother's house. We were almost giving up when we received that video, confessed the casting director. The team was perplexed to see how he managed to capture the nuances of the character without ever having watched The Big Bang Theory. After flying to California for an in-person test, his mother received the news during the return flight. The role was his. "Why are we going back home?" "That seems like a waste of money," the young actor reportedly said. What many don't know is that Ian Armitage's preparation for the role involved a well-kept secret. Jim Parsons personally trained the young actor, spending days teaching him Sheldon's specific mannerisms. "Jim showed me how Sheldon holds things, how he walks, how he looks at people. It was like an anatomy lesson of a character," Armitage revealed years later. This secret mentorship created a special bond between the two actors, and Parsons frequently sent audio messages to Armitage before particularly challenging scenes. The production kept these details in absolute secrecy, fearing that knowledge of this Sheldon transfer could influence the public's perception of the young actor's performance. A bold decision by the producers was to cast Zoe Perry to play Mary Cooper, the protagonist's mother, without publicly announcing a crucial detail. Zoe is the daughter of Laurie Metcalf, the actress who played the older version of Mary in The Big Bang Theory. This genetic continuity between the actresses brought an impressive authenticity that few viewers consciously noticed. When we did the first screen test with Zoe, the entire crew went silent. It was like seeing a young Laurie Metcalf again, revealed the series director of photography. Perry later confessed that she obsessively studied recordings of her mother as Mary Cooper, analyzing every intonation and facial expression. "I grew up watching my mom create incredible characters, but I never imagined that one day I would literally continue one of them," Perry commented. Another little-known element was the team's tradition of measuring the height of the young cast at the beginning of each season. Reagan Reverd, who plays Sheldon's twin sister Missy, started the series at 4 feet 1 inch and ended at 5 feet 3 inches, creating constant challenges for the continuity team. The writers incorporated this growth into the narrative, with subtle jokes about how the Cooper twins were growing at different rates. Montana Jordan, who played Georgie, Sheldon's older brother, faced a similar challenge when he grew more than 10 inches during filming. We had to reshoot some scenes because Montana simply didn't fit into the character's clothes anymore, revealed a costume assistant. Life behind the scenes created unexpected bonds among the cast. Annie Potts, who plays Meemaw, Sheldon's grandmother, and Ian Armitage discovered they were neighbors when filming began. This coincidence strengthened their on-screen chemistry and developed into a genuine friendship that transcended the boundaries of the set. Our characters are very close in the series, but few know that we spend almost all our free time together as well, revealed Potts. Ian frequently came to my house to rehearse together, and we ended up cooking or playing board games as Meemaw and Sheldon would do. This real connection between the actors brought an additional dimension to the special relationship between Sheldon and his grandmother that viewers so adore. The series faced an internal creative conflict that remained hidden from the public. While some writers from The Big Bang Theory resisted the idea of a spin-off, fearing that contradictions in the story could compromise the legacy of the original series, others saw the opportunity to explore new dimensions of the beloved character. Stephen Molaro faced the challenge of balancing these conflicting visions. We needed to honor 12 seasons of already established stories, but also create something that worked independently for new viewers. A concrete example of this creative tension arose when the writers needed to address Sheldon's father. In The Big Bang Theory, George Cooper Sr. is described as an unfaithful alcoholic, but the creators of Young Sheldon wanted to present a more nuanced and sympathetic character. It was a constant struggle between humanizing George and maintaining consistency with what we already knew about him, revealed a writer who preferred to remain anonymous. One of the production's best-kept secrets was the existence of a Bible room, a special room at Warner Brothers Studios where every detail mentioned in The Big Bang Theory about Sheldon's childhood was cataloged and analyzed. A dedicated team of 3 people, nicknamed the Canon Detectives, had the sole function of ensuring that no major contradictions arose between the two series. It was like forensic work, revealed a former member of this team. We would watch each Big Bang episode dozens of times, noting every casual reference to Sheldon's childhood, his family, or Texas. This obsession with continuity went so far as to recreate exactly the same model electric train that was mentioned in an episode of the original series, importing vintage parts from Germany to ensure authenticity. The most challenging moment behind the scenes came when the series needed to address the death of Sheldon's father, George Cooper Sr., played by Lance Barber. This event, mentioned several times in The Big Bang Theory as a traumatic moment in Sheldon's life, required intense emotional preparation from the cast. The scripts for these episodes were coded and kept secret, with a reduced crew during the filming of the most sensitive scenes. Filming those scenes transformed us. We were no longer the same afterward, confessed Barber, who developed a real paternal bond with young Armitage over the years. Zoe Perry revealed that the team created a special code for the days when these scenes would be filmed, Blue Days, so everyone could prepare emotionally. One of the biggest challenges was dealing with the fundamentally different humor between the two series. While The Big Bang Theory was filmed with a live audience and used the traditional sitcom format with laugh tracks, Young Sheldon adopted a more cinematic approach, without an audience or laughter. It was a controversial decision that almost led to the cancellation of the series before it even began, revealed a CBS executive. The executives were convinced that fans would reject a version of Sheldon without the characteristic laughter of Big Bang. To convince them, Chuck Lorre secretly produced an alternative pilot episode with a laugh track, which was shown in a test session. The results were so negative that the original approach without laughter was immediately approved. The unexpected success of Young Sheldon surprised even its creators. The series not only attracted fans of The Big Bang Theory but also won over a completely new audience that had never watched the original series. Confidential audience analyses showed that approximately 40% of regular Young Sheldon viewers had never seen a complete episode of Big Bang. We realized we had 2 distinct audiences watching the same show for different reasons, explained a CBS marketing executive. It was like balancing 2 parallel universes that occasionally crossed. The costumes and art direction of Young Sheldon hid messages and references that few fans noticed. The costume designer revealed that she discreetly hid patterns of atoms and mathematical formulas in the prints of Sheldon's clothes. We started with obvious references, like t-shirts with trains, but evolved to much more subtle details, she explained. There's an episode where Sheldon's entire outfit contains visual elements that form the equation E=mc², but in such a discreet way that nobody noticed. Similarly, the decoration of Sheldon's room was meticulously designed to show the evolution of his scientific interests, with posters and books that gradually changed throughout the seasons, reflecting his intellectual development. When young Sheldon reached the end of its journey in 2024, after 7 seasons, the producers saved one last secret for the final episode. The special appearance of Jim Parsons and Mayim Bialik, reprising their roles as Sheldon and Amy, was filmed under extraordinary security conditions, with minimal crew and no prior announcements. This scene was recorded in a different studio, listed in production records under a code name, and only 5 people knew of the existence of this sequence before it aired. We wanted to give fans a genuine moment of surprise and emotion, explained the director of the final episode. This direct connection with the Big Bang Theory closed the narrative circle that began years earlier with that simple home video of Parsons' nephew. The true legacy of young Sheldon transcends the screens. The series not only expanded the universe of the Big Bang Theory but accomplished the near impossible, humanizing a character often criticized for his arrogance and lack of empathy, revealing the roots of his behaviors and the emotional scars that shaped him. The series also revolutionized the way neurodivergent children are portrayed on television. Although Sheldon was never officially diagnosed in the series, his portrayal as a child with characteristics associated with the autism spectrum was carefully constructed to show both his challenges and his extraordinary abilities. Universities and gifted education programs reported a significant increase in enrollments after the series premiere, with many young people citing Sheldon as inspiration for pursuing scientific careers. This phenomenon, dubbed the Sheldon effect by educational researchers, led CBS to develop an educational program in partnership with NASA, where real scientists created content inspired by the series to stimulate interest in science among children. Are you enjoying this story, young Sheldon? Then help the channel with your subscription. Look, 94.8% of the people who watch these videos are still not subscribed to the channel. If you are part of that group, take the chance and subscribe now. It's free, and that way you'll keep receiving amazing stories from TV shows we still miss. Oh, and don't forget, at the end of the video, you'll find more stories like this one. As Jim Parsons reflected at the close of the series, these 2 seemingly different series are, in fact, chapters of the same story, the story of how we all struggle to find our place in the universe, even when we understand it better than most. Chuck Lorre, in his final comments, offered perhaps the most surprising revelation of all: young Sheldon was never really about a genius. It was about an ordinary family facing the extraordinary challenge of loving someone who sees the world completely differently. And in the end, isn't that what all families do, in one way or another? This final insight captures the essence of what made the series so special. Behind the facade of a story about a scientific prodigy was a profound meditation on acceptance, understanding, and the transformative power of unconditional love.